This is Valley News Live at noon.
Thank you for joining us this Thursday afternoon. I'm Bobby Fouts. We start with new information that's new at noon. One woman is facing several charges after an undercover drug sting in Moorhead. Officers were tipped back in August that someone was distributing M30 fentanyl pills in the city. Now, an undercover drug informant arranged a sale with the alleged drug dealer. Court documents say that they met Mystic Olmsted in Moorhead to exchange cash and M30 pills 4 separate times over the course of the investigation. In total, the undercover officer spent $3,000 and obtained 187 fentanyl pills. Olmsted is charged with 2 felony counts of drug sale. Officers also noticed that children in the vehicle with Olmsted during the drug deals, resulting in the 2 misdemeanor charges of child endangerment. And we have new information on a large police presence in Moorhead. A man is in jail after being arrested for assault. Officers responded to a disturbance in the 800 block of 7th Avenue South around 7:30 last night, where someone was threatened with a gun. The suspect took off but was soon tracked to a home in the 100 block of 16th Street South. Moorhead Police, Clay County Sheriff's deputies, and the Metro Area Street Crimes Unit surrounded the home and arrested 28-year-old Levester Adams of Moorhead for domestic assault, burglary, and interfering with a 911 call. Well, law enforcement in the Jamestown area are looking for a high-risk sex offender who can't be located. Police say that his ankle bracelet battery died and he can no longer be accounted or located. Now, Anthony Rowland is described as a Native American who is about 6 feet tall, 270 pounds, has brown eyes and black hair. He was last seen wearing a red winter jacket, and his last known location was the Jamestown area. Rowland was convicted of gross sexual imposition in 2003 and in 2002, both involving young girls. Anyone with information about Rowland's whereabouts should contact their local law enforcement agency, the Sussex County Sheriff's Office, or Jamestown Police. Well, now let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green. Lisa, we have some active weather happening right now.
We sure do. We're talking about wind everywhere and then flakes flying around in many places too. And in Fargo right now, we've got some of those flakes coming down. Hard to make out downtown Fargo at the moment with the areas of light snow. So we have 2 main places where we're experiencing snow. One band in the south moving through Fargo-Moorhead, and then another one that looks a little bit more substantial in the northern valley as well. So zooming in on these spots, Fargo-Moorhead, again, seeing some of these flakes flying around moving into town here, but especially over toward Castleton. You see these deeper blues. That indicates that we've got a heavier snowfall rate. Also up toward the northeastern corner of Cass County, northern Clay County, seeing some of that snow as well. And this is dropping southward, so this is going to affect places in Cass and Clay for a little while here today. And in Grand Forks, we're watching more snow moving in here heading into the lunch hour. That stretches back over to Red Lake Falls, up toward Grafton and beyond up to Cavalier, and then to the west as well. So there are a couple of these bands moving through, and if you try to drive through those snow bands, you may run into a quick reduction in visibility. One, simply because we have snow coming down, but also the wind is whipping it around. We've got a gust to 30 in Grand Forks, 29 in Fargo, and a gust to 36 miles per hour in Oaks. Wind is either westerly or northwesterly, so we've got some strong winds, and then again some areas where we have a few of those flakes. Fargo at the airport, a report of snow and 37 degrees, so above freezing. That's good to help try to prevent accumulation. But in Bemidji, we're at 32, and so is Devil's Lake, reporting snow in both of those spots. And Detroit Lake's at 34 with some light snow. Quick look at our planner here heading into the afternoon. Cloudy skies with the potential for a flake or 2 as well this afternoon. Eventually this tapers off. We'll see the wind ease up heading into tonight as well. And when I come back, we'll talk about when that will happen for you where you are and what we can expect. It's Thursday. We're looking ahead to the weekend. We'll let you know what to expect for the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much. Well, one of the hot topics at last night's debate was border security. In September, U.S. Customs hit a monthly record of nearly 270,000 people attempting to enter the U.S. illegally, bringing the total for the year to almost 2.5 million, also a record high. North Dakota Senator John Hoeven says that total includes a record number of people from the terror watch list.
We're going to need some way to track that performance, that you are actually solving the problem rather than letting it continue to get worse, particularly at a time when we have to worry about terrorists coming into our country.
Hoeven is pressing the Biden administration to reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, which required people seeking asylum to wait in Mexico while their case was judged. The chairman of North Dakota's Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa joined other tribal leaders from across the country in testifying before U.S. senators on the challenges they faced with the influx of fentanyl on the reservation. Jamie Azur talked about how his tribe formed its own drug enforcement division this year to combat the flow of drugs into the region. He says drug traffickers strategize about where to sell, and Azur is pushing for more help to cut down on red tape barriers to fight crime. Well, new at noon, members of Shania Twain's concert crew were hospitalized after a crash between tour stops in Canada. A crew bus and a truck from the Queen of Me tour were involved in a crash on a highway as they were traveling between concerts in Winnipeg and Saskatoon. Now, in a statement, a Twain's management company says that multiple vehicles encountered dangerous driving conditions due to weather. Now, Shania was not on the bus and is safe. She just performed at the Fargo Dome this past Sunday. Her tour concludes on Tuesday. 7 people, including 4 migrants and a suspected smuggler, are dead after a major car crash in South Texas. Authorities say that deputies were in pursuit of a vehicle suspected of human smuggling yesterday morning. The driver passed an 18-wheeler in a no-passing zone and slammed head-on into an SUV, causing it to burst into flames. Authorities have confirmed that several of the deceased were from Honduras. The Hollywood Actors Union has reached a tentative deal with studios to end its strike. The contract agreement still needs to be approved by the SAG-AFTRA union's board as well as its members. Now, the deal would end a months-long strike that has brought production in Hollywood to a standstill. The union says that the strike will end today. Xcel Energy is laying off 150 employees, 60 of them in Minnesota. The company says that money trouble from inflation, increased hiring costs, and supply chain pressures are to blame. Xcel is not specifying which locations are affected. Well, in our consumer alert, General Motors is recalling all 950 of its driverless cruise cars for a software update. This comes after an incident in San Francisco last month, during which a pedestrian was hit by one vehicle and was then dragged 20 feet by a cruise vehicle as it tried to pull over and avoid the accident. The company says that a software update will cause the car to become stationary in similar cases. California suspended the company's permits to operate driverless taxis in that state following the accident. And a reminder about North Dakota's deer gun season opening tomorrow. Start time is high noon. Hunters who can't find their license have until 1 p.m. tomorrow to contact game and fish officers for replacements. Thousands of deer hunters will hit the field in the next few weeks, and game wardens have some reminders. Now, if you harvest a deer where you have a legal right to hunt, but it ends up on posted land, you can retrieve the animal unarmed, and it's a good idea to let the landowner know what's going on. Now, immediately after you get the deer, you are legally required to tag it. That comes before field dressing and taking photos, and everybody has to transport their own deer. The only way that you can transport another's deer is if you do get a transportation permit. Coming up at noon, the holiday countdown is on, and not just for your Christmas shopping. But next, meteorologist Lisa Green will have your weather to plan your day.